guys, Rick Shaw here. I'm back. It's still the 11th of March, but I wanted to do one just on bikes, and also I want to mention something about the shirts, something I forgot on the video. I wanted to mention it and it slipped my mind till the end. I got a whiteboard now, so I can write down the things I'm thinking of, and I won't skip them, so don't mind me looking down at the board. Kind of stole that from One Trucker's Wisdom. I like his channel. I just get a kick out of the guy. I hope he doesn't get demonetized, but it was his idea. But one thing about the shirts too, I had a couple comments, 2 comments that I know of. People say, get on a shirt, you know, and blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm retired now. I'm here in the Philippines. I like to be out in the sun. And if I were to put on a shirt when it starts heating up, even in the shade, I sweat profusely. And I'd be putting on 10 shirts a day. So there are a lot of times I don't wear shirts because of that reason. And I just like to go shirtless, guys. It's my own preference. If you want to wear a shirt, knock yourself out. But now I'm in here in my developments, so it's fine. When we get to the new developments, it's going to be fine. But once you walk outside that gate, it is a rule here. I don't know if it's a law, but I know it's a rule. You have to have a shirt on, at least a sando. And I did get stopped one time. I was walking up the hill, and some police pulled up in a big paddy wagon type thing, and the guy, hey, come over here. So I went over, and I had my shirt in my hand, and he said, hey, you know, you're supposed to be wearing a shirt. And I said, oh, and I had a towel also. I said, oh, you know, I'm going to get real sweaty going up the hill. I just wanted to go up the hill and then wipe the sweat off before I put my shirt back on. He's like, oh, okay, oh, all right, but put it on top of the hill, okay? And it was okay. So that was really cool. So now I'm going to get into my main topic of today, and it's going to be bikes. I'm thinking of bikes, and bikes you can get here. I don't want to talk about any bikes, fantasy bikes that you can't get here, or try to bring them in and pay these ridiculous prices. And I don't want to talk about big bikes. I know you can get Harleys here. Guys have them that I've heard of. Not a good idea around here. They're a little bit too wide. But one of the bikes here it's in the back of my mind, I've been considering it, was the XT250 by Yamaha. You can get one for 229,000 pesos out the door. Great bike. Had one before. Tough. They're very tough. I did have to do a little bit on the suspension on that bike just for my weight and what I was going to do with it. But there was a real good suspension dude who fixed me up pretty good. You know, we just changed the springs out in the front. I went with progressives on that so that it would ease out the little bumps, and then we went with a good one in the back. They don't have that big of a suspension travel. I think it's 8 inches or so, but great one. No radiators, air cooled, tough bike. They're super tough, and if you fall down on them, they're no worse for wear. I did change the handlebars on mine and put a good stronger set on there. I got the ones that had the rubber mountings in there so I didn't get shaken, because the bike would shake you. It's a thumper. So that was the first bike. Another bike I'm considering here, this is down the road, and it's going to be for the highway, would be, it's a V-twin. It's a SV650. You can get one here right now for 399,000 out the door. They're bulletproof, traffic friendly. They're super narrow. Fantastic bike. You know, when messengers in Europe are using those almost exclusively, you know it's a good bike. I mean, they're just super. To get on the highway here in this country, you got to have a minimum of 400 cc. They let that one bike, the Duke 390, go. It's only a 375 cc, but they let that get on the highway. But you have to have at least 400 cc to get on any highway here. Otherwise, you're going to be on the side streets. Another bike I'm seriously considering, it's probably going to be what I get. It's going to be the WR150R. It's got an adjustable suspension. I sat on it. Can't ride them here when you go. There's no test drives unless you wait till a test drive day that they have, and you might have to travel far. I did that already. It's a hassle. So you got to take what you get. But the suspension on it seemed really good. Even when I put all my weight on it, I couldn't get it to drop that much. So I would be able to take my wife on the back. Adjustable suspension on that one, so you can adjust it up to soften it a little bit for these roads around here. Probably won't be doing a lot of off-roading or anything, just light stuff, fire road stuff, you might say. And you know, I just want a comfortable ride. ride. I did see a guy come blasting through speed bumps. He wasn't even slowing down. So that's a good bike. The other bike I was considering, I'm still, oh, sorry, the WR 155R is 169,000 peso. Okay, the other bike was the CRF 150L, 134,000 pesos. The springs were extremely squishy. I wouldn't be able to, I was bottoming out the springs just jumping on it and sitting there in the showroom. My wife could never ride on it. I've seen a lot of people driving them where they had their wife on the back, and it was squat way down. So I would have to do springs on that right away, front and rear. So I'm not thinking too much, but it's an air-cooled thumper, so you don't have to worry about a radiator and all that, where the WR 155R's got a radiator. I've never heard of any bikes overheating here in the Philippines. I just haven't heard of it. Now, another bike that I really love, I think it's the most beautiful bike ever built. Doesn't have a cam chain. It's a twin cylinder, side-by-side twin, and it's the W800 by Kawasaki. To me, most beautiful bike I've ever seen. I like that it don't have a cam chain. It's got a shaft that runs up the side that runs the cams. It's retro all the way around. Retro all the way around. Super quality bike. It's 557,000 right now, and they got them sitting at the dealers here. I think it's my opinion. You guys can say I'm crazy or something, but it is absolutely the most beautiful bike. But I need comfort, so that's a thought. Now, my favorite bike I ever owned in the entire world that I had a Buell Ulysses. I had a blue one. I'll put a picture in there for you. But it was, I never had to change anything on it. Basically, I got it stock, and that's the way it stayed, other than I did change the horn, and I got rid of those dang Pirelli tires. I put Michelin pilots on there to get a little bit better wear, because I did a lot of highway driving on that. But I got into the twisties on that bike out in Cali going through the mountains, and that was absolutely the most fantastic bike I've ever owned. I wished I could have got it here. It's not really the best suited bike for here, but I don't know how the Harleys do on the air-cooled there. I drove it in California in a lot of heat, and I never had a problem. I had a Sportster when I first got here. It was an 883, but I had them change the jugs right at the dealership to make it a 1200. And, it was my little sleeper. I had the big 883 badges on it, and it just whooped butt on a lot of bikes, light to light. That one, when I would get to lights, the light would flicker. Didn't matter what I did with the oil, even if I used 2050 AMS oil. You get to a red light on a hot day, that oil light would start flickering. So I'm thinking the Harleys might have a hard time. The bigger Harleys here, they're half part water cooled. They cool the head on it. Might help, I don't know. Definitely an oil cooler would be a good idea. If I could have a bike here, I can't get it here, but if my woulda, coulda, shouldas and all this kind of stuff, if I could have a bike, I would like the XR 650 here. Well, CRF 650L. I would love that bike here. I had one before, just like the XT. Loved it. Put an oil cooler on mine, just to help it out a little bit. Gave it a little bit more oil capacity. I did some suspension work on it, and that was just a fantastic bike. Just a truck. You gear that thing low, and it just trucked along anywhere you wanted to go. You could lug the piss out of that thing. That was a great bike. All these bikes that I've mentioned so far got spoked wheels, except my Buell Ulysses, and it had 17-inch wheels. They also have that XT 150 here. I'm not considering that at all. It's got the 19-inch front tires and the smaller rear. I'd like to go with the 21. The suspension isn't there on it. It doesn't have the braking like the CRF 150L, but I think I'm pretty much on to the 155R. Now, that other bike, I didn't see it on there in the Yamaha price list there. I can't remember the dang nomenclature for it, but I'll see if I can find a picture to put in there for it. That's a bike I'm going to be getting. It'll be the last picture I put up on the video, so you can look at that, and you'll see the bike I'm going to get probably next couple days. So that's just my one on bikes, and when you're here, it's good to dress also with a good decorum. I see people. One of the things I really hate about, probably worldwide, is all this new deal where they're wearing holes in their pants and stuff. When I was a kid, that was a terrible thing to do. You got patches and stuff and all that, but now they're wearing these holy pants. I guess they're going to church wearing their holy pants, but I don't think that's a good style myself. But you see a lot of that here. I won't wear them. I have ripped the knees out of my pants, and I get them patched up. You know, I'm not gonna wear that. Maybe I'm just getting to be an old timer, but I see a lot of people, and I remember when I was young, you see people with tore out knees and holes in their pants. I thought, wow, you know, maybe we should give them a few bucks. But it's supposed to be the style now. But I didn't want to make this one too long. I just wanted to run the bikes one about you, and you guys all take care. And this is Rick Shaw out.